It's Friday night at Ornmore and the Safety Direct Galway International Rally rolls into town. The wild western weather has even got into the microphones as the hardy faithful gather to give the new season a rousing send-off.
Very happy with the entry in these tough times, and I'd like to thank all the competitors who have put in an entry. Really appreciate them supporting us in this event.
On this, the 40th running of the event, we're reminded of the admirable aims of forming the Galway Motor Club back in 1971.
I cannot but admire you because you have joined a motor club, and in the motor club you organise your own rallies, and there you can establish conditions under which you can drive your car as fast as you can without interfering in any way with the safety of the ordinary road user.
Since 1971, there have been many legends who have truly mastered this winter sporting event in often challenging conditions. Austin McHale has been very much to the fore in Galway with 6 wins. Eugene Donnelly has been a legend in more recent times. And Billy Coleman, the people's champion in the 70s and 80s, has known great success in Galway. The Galway Challenge of dry stone walls, ice, snow and standing water have provided rally drivers with some of their greatest tests over 40 glorious years. In 1971, Cathal Curley started and finished number 1, a feat that Tim McNulty hopes to emulate in 2011.
The first round of the championship is always tough. You've got to be quick out of the box, and we had a few problems here last year, but you know, we've led this rally 3 or 4 times, nearly won it twice, been second here a couple of times, but that's tarmac rallying and we know that, and that's why we're here again. We want to see can we take the trophy.
Maynooth's Kevin Barrett is also going for the big trophy.
Galway is fantastic, and they run a very good event here. Stages tend to be tricky and slippy with a lot of shiny tar and old tar, but that makes it interesting as well. And our first national win was here in Galway in 2009, so hopefully we can carry that forward.
Twice Irish tarmac champion Derek McGarity debuts his Group N Mitsubishi Evo 10.
We're going to have a go at a wee Group N car this year to see what it's like. But would love to be out in a world car, but circumstances don't allow it.
Indeed, the Group N class is strong, with Killarney's Alan Ring a top contender, while top local runner is young Ross Ford in his second drive in one of the production-based machines. Galway traditionally kick-starts the Irish Rally season in this western city that is well versed in holding major tourist events such as the Volvo Ocean Race, the Galway Races and the renowned Arts and Oyster Festivals.
The water may be falling from the skies this weekend, but it hasn't deterred the fans in the County Galway countryside as they stand safely behind the stone walls awaiting the first of the rally crews to make waves on the stages. Tim McNulty is the first to traverse the Triton Shores Ballyfast stage to open his Irish tarmac year with a superb time, 36 seconds faster than the opposition. In these tough economic times, Tim might not have rivals such as Gareth McHale or Eugene Donnelly to race with this weekend, but Tim is here to enjoy this great rally, and enjoying it he is, with Paul Kiley beside him as he commands an impressive 1 minute 22.3 second lead after 3 stages. Inside Kevin Barrett's S11 Subaru, we see just how difficult those conditions are.
Pressed into 5 right, 60.
Pools of water from the heavy rain lie in places, but Kevin and co-drivers Sean Mullally have made a good start in the Triton Shores Subaru. Second fastest on stage 1 and third fastest here on stage 2, the Brennan's Bread Chantallow stage.
Pressed on 1 left and 3 right, tightens 4 right, 40. 3 left maybe continues, and long 3 right narrows, 100.
Stage 3, the Pat Kelly Plumbing and Heating Tyquid test, and Kevin is second fastest, 17 seconds slower than Tim McNulty. Galway is a warm-up for Kevin's national championship campaign, and although he seems unlikely to challenge Tim at present, second place on an international would be a significant result for the popular Maynooth driver. For Derek McGarity, things start well in his newly acquired ex-Gwyndaff Evans Group N Evo 10. He's fastest in Group N by 2 seconds on the opener, despite a misted windscreen, but loses a little time on the second Chantallo stage. However, for car number 3, stage number 3 is as far as it goes, as a gearbox problem causes its retirement. Alan Ring dropped those 2 seconds to Derek on the opener, but was 9 seconds faster on stage 2. And by stage 3, the Munster Joinery Evo 9 is third overall, with a Group N lead of over 40 seconds. Behind Alan on the road is Tommy Doyle in his front-wheel drive Renault Clio R3, despite the odd moment like this on the bumpy straights. He's 30 seconds back from Ring in a fine 4th overall. Young Fermanagh driver Willie Mavitti is learning his new Lancer Evo 9 and is taking time to get used to the new car in 9th. But Sam Moffat is now in his 2nd season with Evo Power. He's currently 6th overall and 3rd in Group N. He's just 1 second behind Galway's Ross Ford on his 2nd outing in a Group N car, which has some interesting backing from a local councillor. He's having a very interesting time with a sticking throttle in the loop. Brian O'Keefe is one of the few Subaru Group N runners this weekend. Whilst local crew David Quigley and Des Sherlock have slotted their Group N Honda into 8th place overall. Jonathan Folan in his Group N Subaru meanwhile is being hounded here by the Honda of Paul Curley. Whilst Martin Donnelly in his Evo and Liam Egan, struggling with a puncture here, have travelled all the way from the USA to compete on the Galway International. Tom White has travelled over from County Wexford to compete and is travelling well down the stages in 10th place. But things aren't so good for local driver Liam Higgins, who has John Connolly tailing him on stage 1. But on stage 2 it's a tale of woe for Liam, as his rally is ended by one of those infamous dry stone walls.
It's on to the second of 3 loops of these 3 stages, and the fans flock to their favourite vantage points, one of which is the jump at the church on the Ballyfar stage. Tim McNulty is the first to take off. Once again, he is fastest and reports no problems with the McGeehan Motorsport Run Subaru Impreza S12. After this loop of 3 stages, Tim's lead is an impressive 2 minutes 20.7 seconds.
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, you know, we're keeping the concentration up. We're not absolutely flat out, but it's we're not far off it, and we're just keeping the pressure on, you know. It's a long way to the finish line. You can't take anything for granted, you know. You know, I like these conditions. Galway's always like this, so that's what we expect when we come down. So makes tyre choice a bit easier. It's full wets and that's it, you know.
Kevin really leaps the S11 Impreza over the Ballyfar jumps.
Right. 300.
Kevin is content to set his own pace and keep the Trident Shires car out of trouble at this stage.
And 3 right and 5 left. 80. Middle over crest, 100 over crest, 5 left.
He can't afford to back off too much though, as Alan Ring is pushing his Group N Evo, and it's critical to keep the concentration levels and the reaction times at their optimum, as the changing surfaces can drag you into the ditch in an instant.
2 right, 100, turn back, 6 left.
Yeah, I think we're just bedding ourselves in again, like, horrendous conditions. But, like, you know, it's a very long rally, so we sort of said we'd go out, get 3 stages under our belts, but look, we're still second. So, you know, Tim is Tim. Tim always goes from the word go. So, no, we're happy enough with our pace so far.
Alan Ring is also very happy with his pace, 3rd overall and extending his Group N lead to 1 minute 22 seconds, but it hasn't been drama-free.
We've had our own issues. We had a puncture on stage 4 there, and the rear diff nearly gave up on stage 6, so we just changed it there in service. So hopefully that'll solve that problem. But, you know, it's still only 6 stages in. It's a big rally. But yeah, so far, I think we have about a minute on Sam Moffat, I think, second. So far, so good.
Next up is the 2-litre Clio of Tommy Doyle, now just a minute back from Alan, despite visibility issues.
The last stage 6, the windscreen messed it up, and Liam had to use this thing over here, the squishy. But apart from that, we've been fine. We were out on, we just went on an intermediate this morning. We didn't put any extra cuts in it, and So it was bad with the standing water, but then the last loop we had a full wets on. It was a lot better.
Here on stage 4, Ross Ford is second fastest overall, just 7 seconds slower than Tim McNulty. He's now 5th overall and second in Group N. For Sam Moffat, however, this puncture on stage 4 means he's now 40 seconds behind Ross in 6th place.
Just cut a corner and it sucked us in even more. We hit a stone now. It was very unlucky, I suppose. We had to go about another third of the stage just to get to the finish, and we lost a lot of time, so I don't know what way it'll end out.
William Mivity is next in the leaderboard, but over 2 minutes behind Sam, and David Quigley just 1 second behind him in 8th. Tom White is 16 seconds further back in 9th, whilst Brian O'Keefe completes the top 10 as the crews head out for the final loop of the day.
A wet Galway International Rally. The spectators battle the elements to catch the action as the crews battle through the water towards the end of the first day. Paul Curley ends the day in 10th spot, 27 seconds behind the Subaru of Brian O'Keefe. Tom White is 8th and set to move up to 7th on this loop despite this overshoot on the penultimate test of the day. Tom's progress is at the expense of Willie Maviti, who retires with engine problems, and David Quigley, who slips behind in the slippery conditions. Also slipping down in this loop are Ross Ford and Robbie Ward, a puncture in the final day's test costing them 4 minutes and dropping them to 6th.
We're dropped down, I think, to 6th and 3rd overall in Group N, I think. Yeah, it was hard now today, seeing as we were really scrabbling to hold on to the lads today, and we were actually leading the local crews by 14 seconds going into the last stage, so we were really hoping to hang on till tomorrow. So a bit disappointed, but sure, tomorrow's a whole another day.
Sam Moffat is now 5th and just 6 seconds behind Tommy Doyle, who's had to tackle the final test without power steering, which made the 250 horsepower front-wheel drive Clio a real handful. Alan Ring is a fine 3rd, just 33 seconds off 2nd, and now trading times with Kevin Barrett.
We had a good run. I think we had time off Kevin and 2 of them and levelled him on the first one, which is all we can do. We're not really going to catch him, like I said earlier on, unless he's a problem, but we'll keep him honest for the day.
2 left over bump 60, middle over crest, and 1 left 150.
As Kevin shows, at times it's a guessing game, as over small crests can lie pools of standing water, which make aquaplaning a very real possibility. Kevin's Triton Shire Subaru has run faultlessly all day. His team is led by 2 times Galway winner Kenny McKinstry, who helps advise on tyre choice. Kevin is trying a new Pirelli winter tyre over the final loop.
Crest into 5 right, water on exit.
It's just tricky. You can just get killed out anywhere. Like we've clipped a few corners and bent a rim, and I've got away with it. But you don't have to do a whole lot wrong now to get caught out there. In fairness, Tim is on a different pace than we're on. We're here now just to put some mileage in and or hopefully go for the national championship then. But definitely 2nd is great. Another 3 tough stages tomorrow, and the weather's like this, going to be tricky again.
Tim McNulty will end the day with a lead of 3 minutes 24 seconds.
We kept it on the road and we had to push a wee bit to keep the concentration there, but great stages, difficult conditions, but they're difficult for everyone, and enjoyed it. That's what you expect down here in Galway, No, you got to start the first one, and we'll see where we're lying tomorrow evening, and we'll make our decision for the next round. But Galway's a favourite of mine, and there's a lot of great tarmac championship events, but Galway's one of the great ones, and I love being here with them,
Tim McNulty has been fastest in all of the 9 stages in the first day of the Safety Direct Galway International Rally, and the second day 6 stages are in the Headford area. McNulty has driven impeccably so far. With a lead of 3 minutes, he concedes 7 seconds in the opening Kenny Galway Kilcoonagh test, but here on stage 11, the Clayton Hotel Kilbeg stage, he sets another fastest time. At times, the Subaru is touching 130 miles an hour on the saturated roads. By service, he leads by 3 minutes 41 seconds. And 4 times winner Eugene Donnelly is on the team this weekend and understands the risks.
It's typical Galway, although I have to say this morning was quite bad. There was a lot of standing water, and Tim's having a wee problem here with the brakes, just with the heat being in them, and then you hit the standing water and it just destroys the front discs on the car. So he's having to change them here, but he has nothing to lose here, or nothing to gain by going flat out, and he has everything to lose. So it's a case of just trying to keep it steady and give him the best advice we can.
You really have to get to the finish now. I'm sure you're not driving 100% at the minute.
No, we're back even further than yesterday. We're back in about 70%, and it's just, yes, you're dead right. That's what's playing on the mind now. Get through the next loop, get to the finish in one piece.
Kevin Barrett was wide awake this morning in the Triton-Shire Subaru as he sets his first fastest time in the rally. The more heavily cut Pirelli winter tyres are dispersing the water better on the saturated Kilcoona stage. On the Kilbeg test, he's second fastest, and on the third Green Force Fuels Caherlistron stage, he's third fastest.
We took a gamble on the Pirelli winter tyre, and it certainly paid off in the first one because it was just flowing water everywhere, and it worked a dream. It lost out a little bit in the second too, but certainly happy with our pace this morning. It's fantastic when you have flowing water. It's narrower as well, but then when it dries out, you get an awful lot of movement in the car, which sort of isn't great for the confidence, but it's sort of a balance today on do you clear the water or do you get a tyre for the fast stuff, so we sort of took a gamble on the winter tyre and certainly paid off in the first one.
Alan Ring has been trying hard in the morning stages as he commits on the fast jumps and crests of the Kilbeg stage near Headford. He is just 1 second slower than Tim on the opener and 1 second slower than Kevin Barrett on the Kilbeg stage.
Okay. Left one over crest, good 90. Left 3 at the wall, 30. Right 2, go 200.
The Munster joinery car is carving through the floods, and Alan is within striking distance if anything happens to Kevin Barrett ahead. Still, this has been one of the Killarney drivers' best ever runs, taking third place from stage 2 and holding a commanding group end lead.
Left 4 at the gate, small push maybe.
The water has been one of the talking points today, and the morning hasn't been without its moments.
Right one.
Yeah, the first one wasn't too bad. The last one, we'd been told about the water, and in the middle of the water the car turned 90 degrees. We damn near, shoot my French, put it in the wall, but we got away with it, but it was the lapse of the God. We very nearly put it off in the water.
Tommy Doyle hasn't the luxury of four-wheel drive in these conditions, which makes his fourth place all the more creditable, and he actually increases his lead over fifth place Sam Moffat. Sam had a good start to the morning, but on the third Caherlistron test, the Evo has developed a small mechanical problem. Ross Ford, however, has had a clean run, but yesterday's puncture has cost him dearly.
That's the first loop of the rally that we've had car with no problem and on full power, so it's nice to get them through there. So we were fourth quickest on the first one, and we're just keeping it steady from now because we weren't going to catch Sam after the puncture last night, and we didn't really have a problem behind us either, so we're just trying to keep it steady at the moment.
Tom White is also steadily improving in 7th, with Brian O'Keefe 8th. Whilst David Quigley in 9th loses 2 minutes with a puncture on the third test. And his Civic rival Paul Curley has closed up somewhat in 10th place as the crews tackle the final loop. The rain has now halted, though on this Galway International the signage at Kilbeg Quay seems appropriate for the conditions the drivers have faced. Finishing is an achievement, and in 13th are Paul McHugh and Aisling Grimes. David Carney and Ray Fitzpatrick are 12th despite an engine which wouldn't rev fully. USA visitor Martin Donnelly was unfortunate to retire on the final loop. His friend Liam Egan and Graham Coppinger took a fine 11th. Paul Curley and Jason Ullerenshaw are 10th and 1st in Class 2. With Brian O'Keefe and Donoghue O'Callaghan 9th. David Quigley and Des Sherlock a fabulous 8th and 1st in Class 1. Tom White and Richard Cleary have a drama-free weekend to record 7th. But Ross Ford and Robbie Ward have had their dramas this weekend in 6th, as has 5th place Sam Moffat, who limps to the finish with transmission maladies. No such troubles for Tommy Doyle in a fine 4th place with the R3 Clio. Alan Ring and Adrian Deasy have driven swiftly from the start on this fabulous event. Despite the wintry conditions, the Galway Motor Club have made every one of the 15 stages run.
80. Come on.
A well-run event and a great run for Alan this weekend.
Alan third overall, first in Group N. Happy with that?
Yeah, thrilled. That was the aim on yesterday morning we started. You're not going to beat the boys, like we said, unless they have a punch or an issue, and they didn't, and they both drove well. So that's as good as we can do, and we're very happy with that.
Kevin Barrett and co-driver Sean Mullally thread their Subaru over the narrow switchbacks at high speed.
Turn square left.
Even on these final stages, there are hazards to be heeded. Although Kevin wasn't in the race with Tim this weekend, his second overall finish is still a great credit for a competitor who also puts a lot back into the sport. And he's obviously pleased with his final position.
Absolutely thrilled with second overall. I know people say that there's only 2 WRC cars in it, but with the conditions that were out there, believe me, we're more than happy to be here.
A test session in the bathtub the night before the rally, it was unbelievable. I've never seen water so deep, and I've never seen, kind of closing your eyes, nearly going into a lot of the bends to see what's going to be around the corner. But Kevin drove very well, and it's a testament to the preparation of the car as well to get through the weekend.
But for Tim McNulty and Paul Kiley, 14th fastest times out of 15 stages and a winning margin of 4 minutes 16 seconds illustrates their dominance this weekend. Tim has shown speed and maturity, and if his usual sparring partners return at the Circuit of Ireland, they will find him a tough challenge. Tim has braved the conditions, driven impeccably, and won the 40th anniversary Galway International Rally. Like Cathal Curley 40 years previously, car number 1 finishes number 1.
We kind of set a pace there on Saturday, and then we said we consolidated, which was probably harder than driving hard after that, but definitely to consolidate it was one of the toughest things we had to do, yeah. It's one of my favourites, I've fought so many of the lads down here over the years. We've led it several times, we've been second here a couple of times, so I'll take the trophy this year for all those hard years,
The Galway Motor Club have run an outstanding event in tough times and atrocious conditions.